Okay, so this is day 5 of our 30-day countdown towards the Further Maths GCSE Paper 1. So we're going to go through the answer for day 4. So it's asking us to show that x subtract 2 is a factor of this polynomial. And then it's kind of asking for, so that's kind of a part A. And then on part B, it says hence factorise it fully. So let's start with part A. Now we know that if this is a factor, here, if we substitute x equals positive 2 into this, it will equal 0. So we're going to substitute positive 2 into this. And what I like to do is use brackets because that shows someone reading it, shows an examiner, that you are substituting in that value. So we've got 2 to the power of 3, which is 8, times by 2 is 16, plus 2 to the power of 2, which is 4, take away 14, take away 6, and we can say that is 0. So therefore, x take away 2 is a factor. Now for part B, it's telling us to factorise fully this. So what I'm going to do, I am going to use grid method for this. So I know that if x take away 2 is a factor, if I multiply it by something x squared, something x, and some number on its own, it's going to give me the elements that add together to give me this polynomial. So I know that we've got 2x cubed here. The only way we're going to get an x cubed is by doing an x multiplied by an x squared. We just need to work out the number in front of it. So what times by x gives me 2x cubed? Well, it'll be 2x squared. Now we can go right to the other end. We know that this negative 6, the only way we're going to make that is by timesing the two number terms together. So negative 6 goes in there. So what times by negative 2 gives me negative 6? 3. Now, our next thing we can do is start to fill in some of these other boxes that we don't know. So this one here is going to be negative 2 times by 2x squared. So negative times 2 is 4. Then we got the x squared. And this one here is going to be x times 3, which is 3x. But we know that these two things added together is going to give me the x squared term, because we're going to have an x multiplied by some other x value here. So what do we add to negative 4x squared to give me positive x squared? So we're going to have to add in 5x squared. That's the only way we're going to make this term here. Okay, so we can fill in this box at the top here. What do we times by x to give me 5x squared? It's going to be 5x. So we now have got x take 2, bracket 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. Now to factorise fully, we need to factorise this bit here. So we now need to factorise this bit. So if we just do the red bit, so 2x squared plus 5x plus 3. So we're going to use the Hegarty method, slide and divide, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to multiply this value in front of the x squared by the number on its own and factorise it like it was a normal quadratic that we're used to. So this would go to plus 3 and 2. That's the pairing that would times together to give me 6 and add together to give me 5. So we're going to do plus 2, plus 3. But because it was 2x here, we're going to multiply both of these by 2. Now, because we've multiplied our 3 by 2, we're going to have to divide one of these brackets by 2. And the only one that does that nicely is the second one. So we're going to divide that entire bracket by 2. Okay, so now we've got that red bit, so let's put it together. So our final answer is going to be x take away 2, 2x plus 3, x plus 1. So tomorrow's question, or today's question I should say, given that 8 times 2 to the power of 3x equals 4 to the power of 2x, find the value of x. So we'll be going through the answer for this one tomorrow.